Good morning, Facebook. This is Blabbing for Britain, episode 84. Good morning, John.
Good morning, Stephen, and a happy 84th programme to you.
Thank you. I mean, 84 is getting close to that 100, isn't it? That will be a magical target to achieve in 4 months' time. So that's 4 months from now, October, November-ish. And hello to Fernando. Thanks for joining us today. And welcome to the show. So there you are. Welcome to the show. Got that to show. That was good. And this is most definitely Blabbing for Britain. And we are Jon and Steven, and we're waiting for Steven and Fernando. You're on the screen again. Right. To everybody's watching this morning, thank you. Now, we've got some news to announce. Andy Murray is no longer British.
He's Scots now, is he?
He's most no. I mean, that's the standing joke, isn't it? When he wins, he's British. When he fails, he's Scottish. But I think in this instance, he's still a brave Brit because he was at Wimbledon yesterday in the quarterfinals, and unfortunately, he became injured towards the end of the third set when he was leading 2-1, and it was procession from then on. It was 6-1, 6-1 in the final 2 sets. So he carried that injury, obviously, all the way through the tournament, and it just finally caught up with him midway through the match. And his American opponent saw that and seized on it and gets his first semi-final. And it's the first American in a semi-final for quite a long time. So we wish him well. If I could remember his name. Ah, right. Okay. Morning, Neil. If I could remember his name, I would say, what's his, hang on. It's got to be on the BBC page, hasn't it? If I go and look at the BBC page. And, and Boris Becker has told Andy Murray it's time to rest.
Yeah,
because
you've only got one life.
True. And he wasn't the only one.
Only one body, one life. That's what he said, or something to that effect.
Right. And he wasn't the only one to be injured yesterday. Wait a minute. Who else was injured? It was Jankovic.
However you pronounce it.
Yeah, Djokovic. Yes, he retired sensibly because he didn't want to sort of aggravate the injury. Good morning, Tish. We've been talking about an American being in the Wimbledon semi-finals for the first time since Andy, well, a long time ago.
I saw a clip of a woman player shouting at the referee, or whatever you call them.
Umpire, John, umpire.
Umpire. Yeah, I told you, I don't really follow cricket. I mean, tennis.
Tennis. We're doing well this morning.
He was shouting because the line judge called the shot out, but the umpire, referee, whatever you care to call her, said it was in. And then they went to whatever the automated system is, and it was in. But then, having not won the argument, she then turned the argument into, well, the line call put me off because she hit it back into the net, you see. Yeah. So I don't know who it was. I just saw it very quickly last night. It just reminded me of McEnroe, shouting at them.
Oh well, that's
and and she even asked the umpire if she'd ever played tennis.
Yes, very respectful. We've got a question from Neil before we come back to tennis for a moment, and saying good morning. Are we on Belive or Smile Time? We're now permanently housed on Belive.tv for forever. As long as Belive.tv keeps going, and I'm sure it will, then we're here because we've got close tie-ins with Belive, and it is quite simply at the moment the best platform there is, but it is no longer free. There is a 14-day free trial, and then it's either $15 a month or $25 a month, which is, as I said the other day, a price of a decent glass of wine once a week. So it's not expensive. I've looked at other systems, and other systems are charging $50 a month. So there you are. Back to tennis for a moment, because whilst we say goodbye to Mr. Murray at Wimbledon, today is a very big day, because for the first time since 1979, we have a lady today who's in the semi-finals at Wimbledon and playing one of the Williams sisters, and Joanna Konta, who is definitely British, although she was born in Australia. She was born to British parents, and she's been educated in Britain. And if you listen to her, there isn't an Australian twang anywhere. So we wish Joanna well as she faces Ms. Williams today. And if she can do that, then that would be, well, make up. And almost took Stephen's around. Good morning, Stephen. He's obviously around somewhere. Has he sold his Mac and he's waiting for his PC to arrive?
Don't know.
All right, I'm just going to remind of which of the Williams sisters it is. She's playing Venus.
Well, I guess it's not the one that's having a baby very shortly.
No, no.
The one who posed naked.
Right. Okay, and Stephen's in traffic. So
that was good band, Traffic. Good band. Do you remember Traffic?
Holding my shoe, letting in water. Yep. Those were the days. I can remember all the best music, John. I couldn't name anybody in the top 10 at the moment, but ask me about a record from the 60s and 70s and 80s, and no problem at all. Yeah, so that's Wimbledon. I've been asked to talk about cricket, but I'm not, because the match, as I said to John last week, he was safe today because the test match doesn't start until tomorrow. We're 1-0 up in the series against South Africa.
But you are talking about cricket.
I'm not talking about the numbers. I'm just saying there is a match tomorrow.
Yeah, well, Stephen and I will be that excited that we won't be following it.
Oh, dear. Don't know you're missing. How about the golf next week?
Isn't that a long walk spoiled?
No, it's not. No, it's not. And Stephen confirmed his MacBook is going to be sold. So there we are. So then we'll all be PC. Right.
Everybody's waiting to the last minute, I think. Seems to be the trend actually on eBay these days now, to wait to the last minute.
Oh yeah, true. And a message in the background from Steve. He's stuck in traffic. He's hoping to join us. Shout out to Peter, who we spoke to earlier this morning. And take care, Peter. And we'll see you again soon on the show. But Peter won't be with us this week as he continues his recovery. Right. Okay.
Oh, while we're talking about people who are unwell, if you remember, I mentioned that Mike Turner had been unwell.
Yeah.
Remember Mike Turner from Academy days? I've actually met him personally down in Plymouth. I'm sad to say that he's got worse and has now started to get better, but he's ended up what he originally thought was stomach ache turned out to be a ruptured appendix, and he got poisoning, and he's actually had 4 operations and has been on a ventilator in intensive care. I'm pleased to say that a message from his wife said yesterday that he'd actually now come out of intensive care and was now in a high dependency unit, which is where you have 1 nurse to 4 people as opposed to 1 nurse to 1 person. But it looks like it's going to be a very long road to get back to good health. So sending our best wishes to Mike, and get well soon, mate.
Indeed. And
he's a very big man. So this is a big man that's been taken down, because when I stand next to him, I feel very little.
Well, Angelica and I met him about 3 years ago, again down in Plymouth, and we went to a cafe with him and enjoyed an hour chatting about the future. And that's before the 6 o'clock club even started, because he's well known throughout Plymouth for the 6 o'clock club, which means that 7. Yeah,
I did exactly the same. I went to a cafe and had well, he had a coffee and I had an orange juice, but yes. And then, funnily enough, one of his mates turned up and sat at the table next to us, not even realising that he was back to back with Mike. And then his mate came and joined us.
Right. Okay.
Baggy bushel.
Yeah. If you want to help Mike, if you check Prospect Networking, you'll see a post in there and a way in which you can help him. So that's Prospect Networking. Which I just put the name up for. If you search for that on Facebook, anybody who's watching today is welcome to join the group. It's a group that started 6 or 7 years ago now.
Yes, long time back after the fall of Academy.
It was, yeah. It was around about the time of the fall of Academy. Prospect Networking. If you want to join us in there, that's a group of 450 people, most of whom know each other rather well. So there we are, Prospect Networking. Yeah, so best wishes to Mike. I'm just looking. Oh dear. The headline on BBC News just now, Mrs May shed a tear at election exit poll, which means that she's still expected to win the election.
Yeah, well, she's a silly old moo, isn't she? She's. I liked Vince Cable's comment the other day that he still expects Brexit to not happen.
Well, I would love that to be true.
I've got a lot of respect for him. He's a solid gentleman.
Yeah, good morning, Nazim. Yes, we are. We've got the BBC website open, and we're picking news from it as we blab our way through Thursday morning. I've used
modern technology to be prepared today.
Right, okay.
I've got a load of post-it notes stuck to a chocolate bar wrapper.
I'm just going to post the link to join us. I can hear myself for a couple of minutes ago. Are we still there, John?
I'm still here. I can hear you.
Right. Okay. I can hear myself.
I
hear myself 4 seconds ago. This is getting better. I mean, the time between our broadcasting and getting on Facebook is decreasing. So now I can close the tabs on Facebook and close any extra tabs.
It's that rocketing internet that you've got that's improved that time gap.
Well, my picture doesn't fade in and out now.
Yeah.
I don't fade in and out. It's a totally new world. Those extra 2.5 megabytes have changed my world. They
increased mine from 11 to 21, but never mind. Right. That is not down.
And Nazim's brought us on to the topic of Brexit. Brexit, March 2019, still, that's a fixed date. We can't do anything about that. We triggered it. So we leave Europe, leave Europe, that's wrong, isn't it? We leave the EU in March 2019. And the thing that we do know, that's been covered in the papers quite extensively over the last week, is that we haven't got a clue what we're doing. And if our politicians don't have a clue, then we don't stand a chance. All right, okay, sorry.
Why are people?
Come back. They're not joking. It is in jest. My internet has been upgraded. My internet is far better than it's ever been, and I'm just grateful because it happened without any warning, and I'm now able to broadcast. Before, a picture may have been occasionally fuzzy. Now it's fine. So I'm celebrating the fact.
Stephen has rural internet.
Well, that's because I live out in the country. between Avebury, Stonehenge and Salisbury. Beautiful part of the world. And so, yeah, Brexit is going to...
City internet, you see, that's the difference.
Yeah, I know.
What's your down speed?
28.
28 down, and what was it, 4 up?
4.2, please.
4.2 up. Whereas I have 218 down and 21, 22 up. So there's just that difference of living close to a big city.
And somebody else who lives in the countryside is about to join us as we're saying good morning to Neil. Good morning, Neil.
Hello.
We can see you, Neil. Can you see us?
Neil's in outside broadcast mode by the look of things, but he doesn't appear to be hearing us. Hello, Neil.
I think he's frozen.
Looks like it.
Yeah. Thank you, Tish. It is good. It's not as good as you've got in the States, but it's far better than most in the UK. So I'm grateful for that. So Neil's left us again. Yeah. So Brexit, we've no clue, and we appear to be leaving everything that has the letters EU in it. We've decided, the government has decided to quit Euratom, E-U-R-A-T. Morning, Neil.
Good morning.
E-U-R-A-T-O-M. And they've decided we're going to quit, but it's not part of the EU. That was a story yesterday. Good morning, Neil.
Good morning. How are you, gentlemen?
We're fine, I think.
Good. I had a slight problem. I think you invited me in then, and then you guys disappeared off the screen. So it said I was live, but I couldn't see you. So it was a refresh, which is why I disappeared.
We could see you, but you were frozen in time.
Yeah, we just had your picture.
Well,
we need the same.
You have to look at the day with the positives, really, then, don't you? How blessed you are. I'm good, thank you. I'm enjoying a day off today.
Right, okay.
Although I've been invited over to Salford this afternoon. I'm going to Media City this afternoon with a friend of mine, and we're going to watch a recording of Mastermind.
Oh, wow.
All right.
Which should be interesting. So it's a beautiful sunny day, so it'll be a top-down, because today's broadcast comes to garden.
Yeah, we've not seen the car, Neil.
No.
Posted any pictures of it at all. We haven't seen any video. Beautiful.
No, none at
car.
all. So it'll be top down all the way to Salford, and then hopefully a couple of hours in the studios just seeing what they do with Mastermind, which should be interesting.
The famous chair.
Well, who knows? Maybe I'll get a selfie there, or I could live broadcast from the Mastermind chair.
Indeed.
Until they throw me off it.
All right, and I'm going to post a link. That's what I can do. I keep forgetting this. Link to join us is here. All right. Okay, so if you take that...
What's this rediscovered youth like then with this this car?
Oh, it's great. I'm having a little bit of a love affair with it. And the top down, if it's not raining, and in fact, actually, I was driving in it in the rain the other day, and I didn't get wet at all. It all sort of blows past and doesn't catch you. Just having a good time, really enjoying it. It's quite a novelty to have something like that after all the years of family cars. So, quite enjoying it. Yeah, we had a run out with the owners club at the weekend with my little boy, and we had a great time. There was about 20 of them in a line, all whizzing around Derbyshire. So.
Yeah, we've seen the photos.
But it's all good fun. It's good fun.
So are you in the garden or are you out somewhere?
I'm. My wife's working from home today. She's doing a lot of business from the dining room table where I would normally sit. So I am out in the back garden on the bench. I don't know if I can see.
All right. Can see now, yeah.
Yeah. So I'm outside, enjoying that. It's very mild today. It's lovely. It's
good to see someone else having a go at broadcasting from outside. I had a go at having a broadcast from Devon. It took me 3 attempts to get some decent internet, but it did work in the end.
I've done a few periscopes from sort of the fields and the woods and things across on the hillside, just across the way. They've worked okay, but I think in the broadcasting, but don't they call this an OB now? You've been doing some OBs from your allotment recently. I've been seeing.
Oh, well, they're lives, not OBs, live broadcasts.
Oh, they are. No, technically
they're OBs, are they? But I did one on a war zone last night, or what looks like a war zone.
In the allotments?
No. They're tearing the former Central Electricity Generating Board headquarters down, not far from where I live. But it really looked like a war zone. And in fact, the building had been empty for almost 20 years. And before they started the demolition, they filmed a zombie film on the site.
Oh, wow. No. I mean, it's amazing, isn't it?
Ceilings were falling in and everything, you know?
Yeah. We had a job last night where some people had been seen on an industrial site, and security sort of rang up and said, "We've got an intruder on the site," and then promptly locked themselves in the office, which sort of defeats the object of having security. So we went down, and it was the word that came out was a couple of urban explorers. And there's an awful lot of that going on these days, isn't there? Where people are sort of going around and rooting out things from years gone by on old industrial sites or whatever.
Yeah.
And there was a post on Facebook this morning from a friend of mine who's from Liverpool. I mean, he lives in the village, but he grew up in Liverpool. And here's a question: when you think of an elevated railway, where do you think of?
An elevated railway. Well, for me, that would be the link between Birmingham Airport and Birmingham International Railway Station.
Okay.
Or San Francisco.
San Francisco, Chicago. They call it the L in Chicago, don't they? They call it the L because the elevated. Well, apparently there was one in Liverpool, and it ran from the northernmost dock to the southernmost dock. It's about 5 miles long. And the final part of it actually went subterranean to a station at Dingle. And he's posted this link where it's just, it was a station that's slowly but surely been demolished, and the outside has disappeared and what have you. And now there's just this sort of nondescript sort of square sort of building with a gate. But little do people know that it's actually the keys to this underground sort of train station and what's left of it. And there, it was used for cars, for repairs and engineering stuff, and there are still some down there. There's like an AMC Pacer, and there's an old Rover, and there's a few other bits and pieces that have been left down there. But it's fascinating because you suddenly go, gosh, you just don't know about this sort of stuff, and it's just there under your nose. And so this urban explorer thing's come up twice for me in 2 days. It's quite interesting.
Well, this week
our urban explorers are usually stealing the lead off the church roof.
Lead miners.
Well, that's Brummy, Brummy thieves, isn't it? Take the lead off the roof of the church.
Yeah, it's common at churches. So.
It actually happened to a church in Erdington, which is like a large district of Birmingham. And the only way they found out was on the Sunday morning service. People were getting wet.
Oh dear! Right, I'm going to take a break for a moment.
Have a look, and there was no lead on the roof any longer.
Yeah.
I'm going to take a break for a moment, and as I do, I'm going to introduce and welcome Nazim to the broadcast from Milan, Italy.
Milano.
Be interesting to see. Hello. Can you hear us, Nazim? Hello. Can you hear us?
Good morning, gentlemen.
I can hear somebody singing.
Good morning. Yeah, I can. Can you guys hear me?
What did your mum say to you at the airport the other day?
Can you?
Can you hear us?
Oh, it was my mom who arrived from Istanbul.
I know. And what did she say to you? Didn't she say you look better on the internet?
She said you look better than you in real life than you do on Facebook.
Was it the other way around? I thought it was you look better on Facebook than you do in real life. But never mind.
Crazy.
Who's
That's
singing?
correct.
Anyway?
That's correct.
Who's
You know, the
singing?
strange thing is I can't see myself in Belive for some strange reason.
There's a slight delay as well.
We have the gospel hour here.
So you cannot see yourself in Belive, so you're not down in the bottom right-hand corner. No.
I can see myself, but I can't see myself inside the strip.
But you're not in the bottom right-hand corner because you wouldn't be in the strip. You should be in the bottom right-hand corner. Oh, well. Well, we can certainly see
No, I
you.
am at the... Okay.
Maybe refresh.
Anyway, let me bring my question of the morning.
We're all ears, as the English say.
I am wondering what is the feeling in England about the Grenfell Tower incident.
In what respect? Because there's a lot of things happening. I actually have Grenfell Tower on my list because one family were poisoned by the cyanide gas that was given off from the burning insulation. And unfortunately, the lady of the family lost her 7-month-old unborn child. But from what perspective? There's a lot of sympathy, but there's also a lot of anger.
Terrible.
Well, no, there's a lot of anger because some of them are being a bit greedy and they're not taking, the survivors are not taking what's offered to them in form of replacement housing. Staying in the hotel. Your singing's drowning you out now. He's gone.
Nazim, I just drop you for a moment because the singing in the background was in the foreground. You okay now? All right, Nazim's going to come back. John, I mean, Grenfell is a tragedy, isn't it? And, you know, I mean, the things that have happened since then in terms of all the tower blocks throughout the UK who are actually,
The poisoning was what struck me. I mean, the mother of the family, she lost her unborn child, 7-month unborn child, and the daughter almost died from the level of poisoning she had in her bloodstream. The only one of the family of 4 who wasn't unconscious was the father.
Right, we've got an explanation from Nazim. His partner wants the music on, so he's got to go.
His other half wants the music now. Okay.
He shall do as he is told.
A wise man.
Or sit in the garden.
I think that would work.
I'm just going to post a link so that everybody can see this. I could share my screen, but I'm going to click the other way out and post a link. I'm going to see the Cat's Brain this weekend.
The what?
Thank you. I was hoping you'd say that. I'm going to post a link now. I'll post it on Facebook. And the link is there. And basically, the Cat's Brain is an excavation. It's an excavation which is taking place, of course, in Wiltshire. And it's the remains of a 6,000-year-old, it's a newly discovered long bar in Wiltshire, currently under excavation by the University of Reading Archaeology Field School. The bar consists of a U-shaped ditch with what appears to be a rectangular structure in the middle, possibly a house of the dead. It is estimated to date from around 3,600 BCE.
Everything's old in Wiltshire, isn't it?
Apart from the people, John. Apart from the people. You said that not nicely. The thing about this, obviously, the university are doing the excavation, and the magical thing is that nobody's seen this site for thousands of years. It's laid undisturbed. So what they're hoping is that when they do their archaeology on it, they will be able to find things from a long while ago, and it'll tell us more about how people lived in Wiltshire thousands of years ago.
Going back about 35, 40 years ago, I went out with it's got to be more than that, it's got to be 40 years ago, because Celia and I have been together 37 years. I went out with a young lady whose best mate had a barrow thing in the front garden.
Okay.
And they got so many people knocking the front door, asking them about it, that they ended up putting a notice board with all the facts on in the front garden to stop people knocking on the front door.
They've got a visitor centre and a cafe and you know, cash in on it.
Yeah, it's funny because I had a similar experience when I was younger. I used to see a girl that lived just north of Nuneaton, and they had like a little obelisk type thing in the front garden. Quite a big house with a nice front garden. This obelisk type thing. It was only sort of 9 or 10 feet tall. It wasn't enormous. And I'd be in the front garden sometimes, and until I really realised what it was about, because people would pull up sometimes minibuses. And they'd all sort of stop and get out and come and have a look at this obelisk and sort of look around and then get back in the minibus and drive off. And it turned out the obelisk was something to do with the Quaker movement. The guy that started the Quaker movement lived at the house, and this thing is there. But there's this little monument there, and Quakers would come along in their cars or in their minibuses and stop and all have a look. And you're in the garden sort of mowing the lawn or whatever and go, why are you all staring at me? It took a while to work out what it was all about.
Yeah, I mean that's one of the reasons why. I mean, looking back, you get a sense of how we became what we are. I think in that arena, the National Trust is to be applauded for the work that they do. Certainly in Wiltshire, I mean, the ability to actually visit country estates and national monuments for little or no cost, unless you go to Stonehenge, of course. If you're not a National Trust member or an English Heritage member, then you pay the princely sum of £16.50 this year. Yeah,
it's great value for money for us, the Trust and English Heritage. I mean, we've got a place near us that's English Heritage, and we can just turn up and go in any time we like, which is great. And then whenever you go anywhere, there's always somewhere to go, isn't there?
Oh, yeah.
There's always something to do, something different to see that you can go and have a wander around and have a look at. And the prices, if you're not a member, are generally, if you're going with a family as well, are astronomical. It's really, you get your membership back within a couple of visits, don't you? So.
Yeah, that's it. 2 visits and you got your money back. And the thing is that you can go to the same place several times. I mean, one of our favourites is Laycock Abbey, which is sort of 10, 15 miles away. And that's where the photography museum is. And it's got the grounds, and it's got the village, and it's got country walks. It's got everything, you know. And because we're members of the National Trust, it's free. English Heritage, not so much down in Wiltshire, because there are very few castles in Wiltshire. We've got the older monuments, as it were. We don't have the castles. I mean, if you were to go Adrian's Wall, then that's where English Heritage comes into its own, doesn't it? Because you can go house stays and all across the wall, and it doesn't cost you a penny. I mean, we've done that before now. When I used to live up in Burnley, in Lancashire, which is where I hail from. Burnley. Which is where I hail from. That's what we used to do. We used to go up to Carlisle, and then go right across to the east coast.
Mentioning Hadrian's Wall, I'm actually growing some dahlias this year called Hadrian's Midnight, and they've been developed, whatever you want to call it, bred, I think is the correct term, by a small nursery that's adjacent to Hadrian's Wall. And this is their first year of introduction. and they're nothing special in terms of the exhibition world. They're just a single petaled area, but what they have is a beautiful row of the florets, and in the centre, it's as black as midnight, which is why he's called it Hadrian's Midnight.
Spooky.
That's information there, wasn't it?
Stunning part of the country up there as well. Northumberland up there is just stunning.
Very, very true. I mean, it's a great place to actually tour. And I mean, Carlisle, the castle. They've got a castle in Carlisle.
Yes.
They have. And it's good walking country. That's the other thing. I mean, it's and then you've got the Lake District, which is a great place to visit, especially in autumn. I love driving to Lakeside in autumn when the leaves are turning golden brown, all views of brown, and it's quite. I mean, the road is straight, and you just go along there, surrounded by trees. So we're getting into gardening, John. We're talking trees and dahlias and.
I'm quite pleased. My first live broadcast from the allotments has now had 92 views. Which,
good going. Yeah.
For a live broadcast showing you a row of. Is there anybody out there? Everybody seems to have frozen and disappeared. Hello.
I'm back.
I don't know what happened then. I was busy talking away and then realised the two of you weren't moving.
Well, what happened, Stephen, if you want to come back in, that wasn't your doing, I don't think. I think they just did a refresh at Belive TV Central, and it ditched all three of us. So I had to refresh and come back in, hence the delay. This is live. Anyway, you're talking about your live, because this there's a challenge.
Days.
There's a challenge going on, Neil. On the end of June, one of our friends, Jonathan Tripp, was challenged by David Vaughan to do 31 days live. That's to broadcast every day. And there are three rules. One, it's got to be at least 5 minutes. Two, it can be either video or audio, if you've got Facebook audio, and you must use the hashtag 31 days live. And it was just a challenge to a mate, but people who did it publicly, so people saw it. Now there must be between 20 and 25 people actually engaged on 31 days live, one of whom is me, and the other one who's gone live on his own is John.
Yeah.
And it's a good habit to get into, isn't it, John?
Yes, people have seen lots of our allotments and there's still 2 rows to go. And yesterday I did a Beirut style building, that's being knocked down. So, it was quite interesting. The Beirut style building, that's crumbling, that had the most live, viewers while we were actually doing it. Actually 7 people watching it live, which is quite good.
It's quite interesting, isn't it, how you do these things? I mean, I ran a broadcast on Periscope a few weeks back now at the local race circuit. I popped down to see what was going on there during my lunch break, and just got out of the office. And as I broadcast, it came up and said, "Congratulations, your broadcast is now featured on Periscope." And I sort of looked and thought, I don't know what I did there, because I wasn't saying anything. I wasn't engaging. I was just sort of showing people what I was looking at. And it was featured on Periscope, which is a bit peculiar.
Right. Well, you're obviously appealing to Periscope. You've got the Periscope algorithm sorted.
Yeah.
Because it's finding you and it's promoting you.
Well, let's hope so. But maybe I should do 31 days live on Periscope. What do you think?
You
Why
can
not?
if you want to. Other people are using Periscope as part of it. But some people are rotating around different platforms. I'm sticking to what I know, which is Facebook Live.
Bookface. Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's interesting, and I think it's a habit forming thing, isn't it?
Hello, what happened there?
Right, I've got it. Stephen, I've got it sussed. Okay, we have discovered what we can only best describe as a feature. In that, when you come in on your iPhone, the whole thing stops. So we will report the bug as soon as we've finished the show. But I ask you kindly not to try and come in again this morning. Oh dear. Oh dear! This is the best way. This is the best way to fix bugs, is to actually find them. And Stephen found one this morning because he's coming in on his iPhone, and which he should be able to do, and we've done before now. Because Nazim, I think Nazim was doing it too. So we found a bug. So we'll get Belive to squish it after the program.
I was just saying how you've been going live to, as part of 31 days, you've been going live to YouTube with a piece of software. And I just invited you to talk us about it.
Well, in that case, I'll accept the invite, John. Yeah, basically, obviously, Belive.tv has got Facebook covered. I mean, it's the best piece of software on Facebook, so no argument with that. But obviously, there is an audience on YouTube, and that audience is in hundreds of millions. It's not small. So
2 minutes.
2 minutes. Okay. So what I wanted to do was to try and get 4 people onto YouTube. And I've got 2 people on YouTube, and this week, I shall probably next week, I'll get 4 people on YouTube. And the difference is this: it's simple and straightforward. Broadcasting to YouTube is in HD, yeah. So it means that if the voice is synced properly, which we're getting close to, then you can actually use it to record anything, yeah. And you can then repurpose it. I mean, we used a Facebook video, but it's not HD. Let's put it this way: it would not be accessible to Udemy. I think that's the acid test. Is this good enough to be part of a Udemy course? The answer for Facebook video is no, it isn't. Yeah. I've got a beautiful picture of Neil's garden at the moment down in the lobby. But yeah, I mean, YouTube Live. So I'm going to, I think Neil's ready. Almost ready. I'm going to YouTube Live simply for the quality of the video, which is HD, and for the sound, and for the fact that there's a new audience out there. And the other thing is that obviously the videos that we do here are repurposed onto YouTube. And the thing is that if you just put your videos on there, what you're not doing is reaching out to the audience. You're just saying, come and watch my show, without saying who you are. So by being live on YouTube, you grow a natural audience who will watch your videos. I found this out a bit late because I've now got 400 videos on YouTube. So perhaps I should have started earlier, but better to start now than later. The other thing is, I discovered this morning a new app, which gives you a YouTube tab on your Facebook business page.
Oh, right.
Which is quite a big step forward. So what I've done for the repurposing is I've added the YouTube tab and a link to all the YouTube videos for the repurposing. I'm going to do that for Blabbing for Britain later. Because our audience are on Facebook, so if they can watch our videos on Facebook, even though they're on YouTube, it's a win. Yeah. So that's the involvement with YouTube. And your broadcasting plans, what have you planned?
Me? I'm trying to work out how I can do something that works for my clients rather than for me at the moment. Facebook, I'm not really succeeding to pull any business through to clients with.
Okay.
Twitter, we're doing fantastically well with. We're, but Facebook, we can do the same posts on Facebook and on Twitter, and on Twitter we can get 4,000-5,000 people viewing the posts.
Wow.
Facebook, it's 150, 300 max.
Okay.
For the same exactly the same post. So obviously there's some major differential. And so I've gone off and actually I'm doing some online training on Facebook to see if I can find out how to do things better. So I only started yesterday, so I haven't really mastered it yet.
It's practice, that's all, isn't it? I mean, that's the key. Neil, your plans for video this year?
I need to reinvigorate my video because there's been an awful lot of stuff going on for me that's just prevented me from getting involved in it. But I need to reinvigorate my live stuff, which will incorporate Periscope, obviously. But I also want, now that Smile Time seems to have got itself sorted out, I want to try and reinvigorate the Offbeat Cops and get that going again. Go through some conversations and evenings with Lee and get some guests in to talk about policing issues and stuff like that. I'm also quite keen, although it all boils down to time mostly, but I'm not quite impressed. I'm very impressed by the video log that the Miami Police Department, Nick Perez at the Miami Police does a vlog, which is superb. And I think there's a lot to be said about actually sort of capturing a load of content and then pulling that together into a vlog and just sharing it out with people, where you're not live. But that obviously takes editing time and skills and managing the day job and everything else. So it all starts to get a little bit complicated. But it's something that I want to explore and look into a little as and when time allows.
And what sort of video editor do you use if you're going to do that sort of stuff?
At the moment, to do something like that, I would. Obviously, I'm Mac-based, so it would be iMovie, which is more than adequate to sort of pull music, audio, video, and titles all together. And then I think if it were to progress any further and became something that I wanted to do properly, well, then I'd probably have to subscribe into Adobe for Premiere Pro, I think it's called, is it? I think it's Premiere Pro, yeah.
Yeah, there are other choices available to you on the Mac. But iMovie will probably do most of what you want for quite a while.
Oh, yeah.
Although I'm not personally Mac-based, I've been looking at a lot of work that's been done by iMovie recently.
It's very simple and quite logical how it works, and it does produce a nice result. And there are a lot of little add-ins and things that you can get for it to make it even more interesting. There's an awful lot of video content out there on YouTube and demos and explanations of how to really create some quite professional results with iMovie by drawing in other audio files, drawing in I forget the term they use, where you can actually sort of, it's almost like a transparent image that you can lay over the top of something.
Yeah,
it's like a transparent video that you can lay over the top of your video and resize and stuff. So I watched one a while ago where they'd sort of got a basic sort of girl that comes around the corner of a building, and she's got this sort of device in her hand, but the display on the device comes up on the screen because they've overlaid it, and then she does some shooting with a gun, and they put gun flashes at the end of the pistol and stuff. It's quite clever how it all works, and it's all done in iMovie, and you think that's a really slick sort of production. But they've used payware. You can get free overlay stuff. I pre-cut or pre-cut. I can't remember the term. But basically, it's like a transparent piece of video footage that you overlay over the top. Works really well. So it's quite a powerful tool, all in its own regard.
gone
Now,
quiet.
I've been playing with quite a few recently to decide which one I want to stick with. I've been playing with one called Hit Film 4, which is a British product, which is free. But then you buy modules to plug into it to do more advanced things. But it's pretty damn good, even the free version. But I bought a new laptop a few weeks ago, and that came with a built-in thing called Power Director. And there was also an Intel offer with it, and I've got a free copy of Corel video editor. So I'm going to have a look at those, see if they're any different.
Yeah.
If anybody's playing with video, Hit Film 4. British product.
Just to support Stephen, when you say you bought a new laptop, is this a Windows-based machine?
Of course it bloody is. The only reason I would buy a Mac is that I really ought to be testing some of the products I put out there to make sure it looks all right on a Mac. But currently I actually use Adobe's emulator to do that. Yes, Hit Film 4 it is.
Yeah, cool. Well, the Mac I'm using now is a 2011 MacBook Pro, and it's worked for years and years and years without an issue. But it has, in the last 12 months or so, the hard drive started to really, really slow down. But it was a traditional spinny hard disk.
Yep.
My brother-in-law has replaced the 4 gigabyte RAM with 16 gigabyte RAM, and taken the 500 meg hard disk out and put a 500.
Unfortunately, you're breaking up and we can't hear what you're saying.
Neil, we're going towards the show, and you're breaking up a little bit. If you can hear us, thank you for joining us this morning. If you want to refresh and come back for a moment, that would be great. That's it. So Neil will refresh.
Couple of quick interesting things on my list.
Okie doke. Let's go.
Chuck Blazer. Anybody may remember Chuck Blazer is the North American FIFA representative that led to the big investigation that ended up with Sepp Blatter, etc., being kicked out. He died yesterday. But the interesting thing that made me laugh was that he actually had 2 flats in Trump Tower. One of them was exclusively for his cats.
Oh, right, okay.
He took
We've heard of such people.
$20 out of FIFA, by the way, which is how he funded his flats.
Right, okay.
And then 2 wedding stories from the North America.
Okay.
A gentleman held his daughter's wedding in his apple orchard. And literally during his father of the bride speech, he got struck by lightning. He has survived unscathed, and they were able to carry on. But in amazing thing to be struck by lightning when you're giving your speech at your daughter's wedding.
Indeed. We've lost Neil again.
One is a wedding in Alaska, where the bride was surprised. She's an older bride. By her husband-to-be, in that he had a young man that she'd never met before as one of his best men. And this best man, he had the heart of the son of his bride, and he died at 19, unfortunately, of an illness. And he passed on, and the young man had the heart. And she listened to her son's heart with a stethoscope at her wedding. And I thought that was quite an interesting little story. Stephen looks tired.
Hello, good morning, Stephen. The show wouldn't complete if you hadn't joined us. You're on, still on the iPhone?
Yeah.
Are you on the iPhone?
I tried it on the old Android tablet thing, got nowhere.
All right.
And this is on an iPhone, yeah? So it's an iOS version of Belive.
Oh, good. Right, okay. So basically what happened is when you came on the Android, we crashed twice.
When I came on,
Yeah. When you came on with the Android, it crashed twice. So I was going to report this as an iPhone malfunction, but in fact, it's a tablet malfunction. Which tablet?
It's got a Samsung.
Is it Galaxy A4 or A10?
Oh, right. Okay. So Android.
Android, yes.
Okay. Well, if
This
we
is
can...
on 7 with 4G in good old Newcastle under Lyme.
Know it well.
It doesn't seem to be badly to me, anyway.
No, it's looking good.
You've had an all-star show today, haven't you? I was watching you on Facebook Live in the car.
Ah, right.
And you've had all sorts today.
Indeed. I'm going to try and see if we can see more of you by putting in full screen. Are you stationary now?
I think he's frozen, unfortunately.
Oh, yes. Right, okay. Well, at least we've cleared that up.
That works, okay.
Right, you're back now.
He went under the subway, which might have affected his signal.
Right, okay. Well, you're there now.
Right. I'll sign off now because I'm going to lose my battery.
Okay.
100% earlier. All right, I'll see you soon, guys. But great show.
Okay, take care. See you soon. Bye. Right, so I'm not going to report an Android malfunction. That would be most unfair on iPhone.
It's on an older version of Android, I suspect, as well.
Yeah. So I'll not report anything. And Neil's frozen is stationary. Well, yes.
Yeah, Frost is.
Are you going to try from the Facebook, Neil? We've just got 2 minutes left. We'll carry on. We'll carry on blabbing and busking for the next couple of minutes.
Anything exciting on your list of things? I mean, Burnley have been buying players left, right, and centre, having sold the one.
I'm getting ready for the new season, cash in the bank. You know, you've got to do it. I've joined the Fantasy Football League today, which I do every season, and then I play for about a dozen weeks, and I forget all about it. I generally finish bottom of the league, because I don't swap players in and out when they're injured. Right, okay, it was brilliant to chat, Neil. Thanks for joining us this morning, and have a great day, and enjoy the studios, and enjoy Mastermind, and tell us what happens behind the scenes. And if you've managed to get close to the chair, then send us a picture of that too. To everybody who's watched us today, and thank you to Tish and to Nazim and everyone who was watching but didn't sort of log in. Thank you. This has been Blabbing for Britain 84, and it's over to John.
Well, it's the end of the hour, so it's goodbye from me. It's goodbye from him. It's goodbye from all those that came on today, and have a great day. And look out for our live broadcasts, because Stephen and I are doing the 31 days live special, and Stephen's on day 10 yesterday, and I was on day 5 yesterday. So look out for more broadcasts from us later today. Bye.
Bye. Take care.